Before I get started, I would ask if you could all please turn off your smartphones, dumb phones, iPhones, and pagers. Put a hold on your tweets, posts, likes, check-ins, upvotes, and downvotes. The following speech may lead to moments of nostalgia, the release of suppressed memories, and flashbacks. If flashbacks persist for the remainder of the evening, please consult a physician. The speeches may not be right for you. If flashbacks last longer than 12 hours, please seek emergency medical attention. Lastly, I understand there are a few 1G2 mechanical engineer students in the room. If you could please refrain from pulling the fire alarm for the next 5 minutes. That would be great. First off, she's been working quite hard on this event. She gave me the freedom to approach the speech however I wanted and trusted I would not say anything unruly, insubordinate, or inappropriate. I'm sorry. So I think we need to give a round of applause to Nicole for organizing this wonderful thing. To our invited faculty members, distinguished guests and alumni, and my fellow fourth-year classmates, I say good evening, congratulations, and welcome to Grad Ball 2013. So I want to get a bit of a feel for the crowd. So where are my tenants tonight?
Valedictorian of class of 2013. And I have to admit, after all these years of engineering, writing lab reports, CDSs, and technical reports, I thought writing a speech wouldn't be that difficult. However, I came to realize quite quickly that speech writing isn't my strength. With that being said, I would rather write a speech than write another design portfolio. So we're here tonight to celebrate the end of our university careers. So let's put aside our design projects, thesis papers, assignments, pre-exam studying, and enjoy the evening to celebrate our huge accomplishment. The last 2 years for some of us have gone by too quickly. For most of us, not quickly enough. And for others, unfortunately, there will be more. But have you ever thought about how long we've been in university? Think about how much has changed since we joined U of T. When we started, the first iPhone was just released. Viva La Vida was the newest Coldplay song. People were still using MSN. There was no cat jokes. There was no memes. The pit chairs were still green. There was only one electrical outlet in the pit. And when someone said HPV, human-powered vehicle wasn't the first thing that came to mind. So how did our story begin? Let's rewind a few years. In the beginning, there was Frosh Week, or what I call the trap. It's the awesome time of the year when it's socially acceptable to dye yourself purple from head to toe, chant and sing in the streets, get stuffed into bus shelters, and show your newly acquired engineering pride. The week is so action-packed and so full of spirit, you get this false sense of hope. It's like telling you, don't worry, kid, everything's going to be all right. Then Frosh Week finishes. Classes start, you're crammed into lecture halls full of hundreds of students. You can't read the professor's writing, you have 3 assignments due at the end of the week. This class is apparently called calculus, but it looks more like an English class because there's more letters on the board than numbers. And on top of that, you're finding out that your tender and sensitive regions of your body don't react well with purple dye. However, it passes, midterms roll in, and being the cocky high schoolers we were, we think, I'll be fine, totally know all the material. I went to all the lectures, attended most of the tutorials. I did the first 4 questions from each chapter, because we all know those are the hardest. And you think I got this. And then university hits you, and it hits you hard. The midterm you were totally solid for, class average 50. And there you are looking at your 51 thinking, what did I get myself into? Fast forward 3 years, and that 51 and a 50 average midterm suddenly isn't that bad. At least it's not bad. Eventually we make it through. Some of us on probation, just minor details. But nonetheless, we make it through the second year. On the way, we lose some friends. However, we gain some friends as well. Our habits change. We study smarter. We study harder. We lower our expectations, and suddenly a 60 isn't that bad. Though we are subject to one of the most torturous, evil, downright sinister, grueling 4-year academic program in the country, somehow it all works out. Somehow, between CDSs, FDSs, Gantt charts, design portfolios, lab reports, plant design, capstone, numerous all-nighters, 4 a.m. New Hope King runs, fire alarms, bell curves, Wiley Plus, Dota players, the incompetence of Rosie, what website has hours of operation? I don't know. Inappropriately scheduled Blackboard maintenances. Somehow between all of that, we made it. Some of us, because we worked hard, did our assignments, studied before midterms, and attended tutorials. But for most of us, it was because of the part marks, Wolfram Alpha, Wikipedia, and some shenanigans. I still got more to go. But I'm just kidding, of course. Of course, we made it because we did our homework, studied for assignments and midterms. Some of you made it by yourself and went through it alone, but one does not simply walk into Convocation Hall to graduate alone. For some of us, we survived this rocky road because of the people who were riding the road with us. Some of those people for you may be right here, in this room, or at your table. These are the friends that were there when times were good and bad. The ones that pulled the slack in a group project as you had a busy week, gave you a crash course lesson in eigenvalues and eigenvectors an hour before the exam, or allowed you to compare problem set answers. You have to think of those people as your fellowship for the Iron Ring. I was always told that one of the biggest differences between high school and university was that students were constantly in competition with one another. Though this is true in some faculties, I'm proud to say I didn't feel this was a big issue in engineering. We are truly a great community amongst our own disciplines, between others, and that is one thing I will sadly miss about U of T. But there's no one to thank for this, but instead everyone. We all deserve credit for making U of T engineering what it is. The people are what define this community. This community is not organized by anyone, run by anyone, or maintained by anyone, but instead everyone. And though we will graduate this year, become a dinosaur, enter the workforce, or become a master's student, what you did here while at U of T, regardless of how small, will leave an impact. The impact is what I call your personal legacy. And though you will not receive recognition for it or win an award, you must remember that what you did yesterday is the only reason why you can do tomorrow. The torch of U of T engineering is passed from year to year, and when it's passed to you, it's your task to keep the fire burning. It was passed to us, now it's time for us to pass it to the next generation. It's sad to say, but our time has come to move on. But we should be excited. This is just a chapter in our lives that is finishing, and there are plenty more to come. Nobody knows what comes next in your book, but I do know you die at the end. Sorry for the spoiler. I like that one. So here we sit, fourth-year undergraduate engineering students on the edge of completing our degree. We're not done yet. Now what do you have to show for it? In a few months we'll be receiving a piece of paper. Though some will say it's just a piece of paper with a few scribbles and a fancy signature, it holds a lot of meaning. It's a representation of our time here at U of T, that we studied engineering at one of the finest institutions in Canada, and that we have the knowledge and tools to become successful engineers. I'm sure some of you rolled your eyes there when I said that, for how cliche it sounded. Sorry. I know we have our own opinions about U of T, but we must remember we are graduating from a university that holds a very strong name.
That piece of pretty paper proves that we survived these 4 school years at U of T and made it through. That is something to be honored and revered. Second, we have these, our iron rings. These rings that sit upon our working hands that we have all pushed ourselves for and strived for all these years. But remember, your iron ring is not a trophy, nor is it a reward for becoming an engineer. It is a reminder. It reminds us of our moral and ethical obligation to live by a high standard of professional conduct. And it reminds us of our responsibilities that come with our chosen career profession. Let's not forget what it means. Let's honor it and respect it. In closing, these long years have been tough, but I'm proud to say, and honored to say, and privileged to say, that I'm graduating with you guys. I think. Many of you will be returning to your hometowns, home countries, and some of you will be moving away for your school and your career. Unfortunately, there are many people in this room that you won't see again. Though we'll all be separated, do not forget your time here at U of T. From what I hear, these past few years is supposed to be the greatest of your life, but I really hope it gets better. I personally worked with many of you on past projects, whether it be design projects, capstone, frosh week, NEM, or just random things around school. I know you all are a fantastic and driven group of individuals who can accomplish great things. School can only prepare you and teach you so much. You won't get your dream job just because you graduated from engineering. It's up to you to take charge from here. So I leave you with this, as the great doctor once said, and not Dr. Dre. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you're the only one who will decide where to go. Yeah.